Hey guys, this is Amashekar with Redline Auto Show, and I'm here today to talk to you about the 2019 Ram 2500. Guys, the heavy duties have started to hit the dealer lots, and this is the first one that we have received. It is a base Tradesman. I know everybody's been talking about the big 12-inch screen and all the luxury features and all that, but guess what, guys? This is an amazing truck too. Let me talk to you about it. First thing that if you guys have watched my other video on the Ram 3500 dually that I did, and that was my first look of the new 19 Rams, and what catches me is the enormous grille. Of course, on this truck it is more of a styling application, but on the Cummins they really required the huge grille so they can keep that beast of a motor cool. And but what I like about this truck is you know, how it is like a big rig. As you can see, it is a huge grille, and when I first saw this truck I was like, man, I should have got a Laramie at least, you know, if not a Longhorn with a 12-inch, because this was going to be my first video about it. But when I got looking at this truck, guys, I will get to the pricing later, but just the value for money on this truck seems to be amazing. I mean, this being the 6.4, of course, is mated with the 8-speed transmission that we have had on the Ram 1500s and a bunch of other products from FCA since a long time, and it has been a very successful transmission for us. Actually, the Ram 1500s got all its glory, I think, is because of that 8-speed transmission. Of course, we had the 5.7 on the new 2500 lineup. That's the smallest motor you can get. I mean, that's the only gas motor you can get. You cannot get a 5.7 anymore, and you cannot get a 6-speed transmission. So you get a 6.4 mated to the 8-speed. And let me tell you something about this, guys. I did not even drive this truck here because I want to catch my reactions to driving this truck with y'all. So after I finish talking about the truck and the walk around, I'm going to be driving this for the first time, and y'all are going to see what I think about it. One thing that we've had for a long time on the Ram 1500s and many of the other products is the active grille shutters. And if you look here, you can actually see these grille shutters, not the grille itself, but if you can, I don't know how good the camera is going to pick it up, but there are actually shutters in there which shut when the radiator or the engine doesn't need the cooling, so it shuts closed, making the truck more aerodynamic. That really aids in gas mileage. And like I said, this is the Tradesman. It's got the full metal bumper, of course, with the chrome finish. And if you look down here, guys, you got plenty of space. And another thing that really excites me is now the Ram Power Wagon options can be had on a base Tradesman. So in a sense, let me break it down what I mean by Power Wagon option. You can get a base Tradesman with lock-in differentials, front and rear, sway bar disconnects, and a 12,000 pound synthetic winch that goes right in here. That's awesome, guys. Now, with regards to the headlamp, what they've done is they've added this part to the to what looks like the Ram 1500 in the headlamp cluster, but they've, you know, just to fill the space, they've added these marker lights up here. And like the 1500s, there are 3 headlamp options available. Now this is your base halogen headlamps. You got an LED style, and then you got the ones that come which are much thinner and more stylish, which come on the Longhorn and the Limiteds. Personally, my favorite's the middle of the line, the one above this, not the one that comes on the Longhorn and the Limiteds. I just think that's too narrow. This one is a bolder appearance. This style of the headlamp, but the ones with the LED headlamps are awesome. Because like I said, this is a base Tradesman, so there's no fog lamps. Otherwise the fog lamps would have been here. Let me quickly open up the hood. Guys, this is a tall truck. I'm 5'7", and I don't know if I'm going to be able to look over. Guess what? I can't. But yeah, this one, if you come around over here, we could take a look at this this motor. It's the 6.4 HEMI, guys. Plenty of power, plenty of torque to get it going. Again, I haven't driven it, like I said, and you're gonna see the first driving impressions. And what excites me is that 8-speed transmission that is mated to this 6.4. Coming around over here, base steel wheels. It's got the chrome cladding on top. If you're interested in the tire size, it is 275/70 R18, so those are 18-inch wheels. The 6.4 HEMI badging. There's been some mixed reactions about this badging that's moved to the hood, but this is how it's on the heavy duties. You got the 2500, tells you what truck it is, and it says heavy duty, but you still get the either the Cummins or the HEMI badging over here, unlike the 1500s, which it mentions over there. And here you get the standalone Ram. Coming to the back, guys, 6'4" bed with a crew cab. Now that's kind of standard. What hasn't changed, let me tell you, what hasn't changed is from here back. That is from your A-pillar back. The truck, the panels on the truck remain the same, so it really looks just like the older truck. What's changed on the top is the front appearance. Like I said, this has got the 6'4" bed with the 18-inch wheels. Coming around over here, the tailgate is changed. So you get the big Ram emblem right here. Says if it's a 4x4, if it's not, you won't have that badging. The tailgate is changed. It's much lighter now from what it used to be. This being the base Tradesman is not dampened, but I think there's some kind of a spring mechanism that doesn't make it feel that heavy. And of course you got the full bed. Coming down here, you got your 4-pin and a 7-pin connector plus 5 hitch right there. The tail lamp is again brand new, like the new 1500s. You got LED option in this, because it's a base Tradesman. Let's talk about interiors now. The interior is all new, so there's nothing kind of carried over from the interiors of the 2018. Let's get in here. Like I said, this is the base Tradesman, so it's got the base cloth seats, but what we've got here is the vinyl flooring, not the carpet covering as it would be if you got that option. It's a no-cost option, but if you prefer the vinyl flooring, you can also get a vinyl seat. Alright guys, so welcome inside this cabin now. Again, I'm going to get to the pricing and talk about that a little bit more towards the end, but just so you know, you're in the base trim level. This is as basic as it could get. But in spite of that, it just seems so much nicer, guys. I mean, it's just the steering feels good. It's still plastic and rubber and nothing special about it, but it still feels good. Right here you have your voice commands just like before, your cruise control, your speed limiters right here. Let me just quickly show you the instrument cluster right here. And this is again brand new, similar to the 2019 1500s. This center console, the center information cluster right here, this is the basic one. If you got the higher trim level like a Big Horn and above, you could get a 7-inch TFT display, which shows you different information right here. I've been through this in another video. If you have any if you want more information on that, you should be checking that video out. But anyways, the information is similar. You get all the information that would be displayed in the bigger 7-inch display right there, but this is just more basic. And coming to the radio, this is this is again the basic radio. You get AM, FM, and Sirius XM. You got your media connectivity, which is basically your USB stack right here, including Type C's. You got your Bluetooth function, Bluetooth to make and receive phone calls. It'll read incoming text messages to you. You can speak text messages and reply, and then of course your basic settings. Coming down here, you get your air conditioning controls, trailer brake controller that's built in here in this model, and your Toho mode. So what Toho mode does is it changes the way the shift points in the transmission so as to aid in towing. And down here is your 4x4 transmission shifter. So of course you're in 2H, you go into 4H, and if you stuck situation, you can get into 4 low. It's good to see that we still retain a full center transfer case in the 4x4 systems, and it's not an all-wheel drive system like many other trucks. And with regards to the steering, it's still just tilt. There's no telescope, just like the 1500s do have a telescopic steering column. This is just tilt so far. And of course manual adjustment for the seat, and no height adjustment because it's the base trim level. Here you have your microphones for your Bluetooth, and these are your tweeters, part of the sound system. And basic, guys, basic. But the other thing now you could get is the window at the back. It actually has the window in the back, which is power. You operate that using this this button right here, and then sunglasses holder, and your reading lamps right here. This seat is very similar to what the outgoing model had. You get storage space right here with another USB port, and plenty of cup holders. Of course, you lift this up and you have a seat for an additional passenger. Now let's jump at the back and take a look at what we have at the back. Alright guys, so this if you've seen the previous model years of the Ram 2500, this cabin is pretty much the same as far as the back seats concerned, except for some stuff here which we'll take a quick look. Sorry. This one has the molded rubber mats. Let me just get that out of the way so you have a better look. So some some more storage space down here under the seat. Of course, this is not a 60-40 split like you would in some of the higher trim levels, but you lift it up, you get all this storage space down here, and then this rubber mat, again pretty basic. AC vents back here, and some storage space right here. Other than that, it's a pretty basic normal cup holders, normal back seat, because this is a base Tradesman, and no RAM boxes either, so that's what that is. Okay, so it's my first drive. The truck's been here for a week, and I did not drive it for this moment, guys, because I wanted to catch it on camera. I was planning on this video, and I got this truck out today. Being a Sunday, I still said today's the day I'm going to do it. We're going to talk about the sound a little bit, but let's see this. There's a door that's not shut. There you go. Alright, we're all set. Now, I have driven the 6.4 HEMI in a truck before, but what I have not driven is a 6.4 with the 8-speed transmission, and I am a big fan of the 8-speed, so let's see what it can do. Woo! Man, this thing flies, guys. This thing flies. This is, woo! Man, this truck is awesome. Like I said, the 8-speed transmission, I mean, I can say so many good things about it, and you can read so many things good about it, and you can see online, but this thing is something else. This thing will spin tires all day long, guys. I mean, this thing will really spin tires. I mean, let me grab the camera here and show you what I'm talking about. Now, this is a slight incline over here. If you can see it, I don't know if you can make it out in the camera, but what I'm going to do is just let me go through this spot here. It's kind of blind. I don't want to be doing something stupid, but guys, oh man, it's a beautiful day today to be out here driving this amazing truck. But let me just get it down to 0 and see what you can do. I chickened down, guys. This thing would have been going, but it's kind of a 2-lane road and there's some traffic over here, but you got a glimpse of what it's capable of because of the range of gears with the 8-speed ZF, and the fact that it has the dual clutch just makes it such an amazing combination. And guys, this is something that you got to drive. Wherever you are watching, just go out and test drive one of these things, and then you can see what I'm talking about. It's so nimble. I mean, you saw the size of the truck when we were on the outside. I mean, the hood stands as tall as probably me, which is 5'7" and this is a huge truck. But when I give it gas, it just feels nimble. It feels like you know, as though I'm driving a smaller SUV, let's say. It just gets up and goes. It's ready to go, and that's what that 8-speed does to really horsepower. And of course, this engine's tuned for torque as well. I'm here in a parking spot, but let me go find a freeway and take it up to speed, and see what RPMs it spins. But my first impression is that it feels nimble. It doesn't feel like I'm driving a full-size truck or a heavy duty for that matter. I mean, this is a 2500, guys. Pretty capable. It can tow up to 16,000 pounds, this truck. And of course it's a 4x4, and it just doesn't feel that way. The turning radius, guys, is crazy. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Now this is parking spots on both sides. I haven't measured it, it's not very scientific, but I'm going to do a full turn of the steering wheel, and just check this out, guys. I can turn this monster truck in this tiny little space right here. Isn't that crazy? Just check this out, guys. I mean, it's not even funny how light, nimble, and comfortable I feel driving this truck. I drive a Jeep Wrangler as my daily driver, and this thing's obviously, I mean, the Wranglers are rough riding. It's a JK 2017, so but this truck just feels so much smoother, and it just feels so comfortable, and that 8-speed makes it really get up and go. And I can drive this all day long, guys. I don't know, I'm changing my mind. So, you know, I'm a big Jeep fan. The reason I like Jeeps is because, you know, the way they hold value and the resale and all that good stuff. But if you followed me for any length of time, you also know that I'm kind of into, not off-roading per se, but it's more like overlanding, camping, that kind of stuff. So when I looked at this truck, what came to my mind was, okay, let's cut the chase. I'm going to talk about pricing. This one's stickered about 45,000 something, okay? And as you'll all know, you know, most dealerships, not now, but eventually will take about 10 grand off of these things. So if you took 10 grand off of a $45,000 truck, which is a base Tradesman, agreed, still has satellite radio, Bluetooth, backup camera, trailer brake controller, 4x4, vinyl flooring, okay? If I did a truck, maybe I would not get the cloth seats and get the vinyl seats instead, is because, you know, if I'm going to build this truck up, I would be building it for an overlanding kind of a lifestyle, and that just makes it so much easier to keep the truck clean, and you know, you literally can wipe it down with a wet cloth, and that would be amazing, guys, with this engine transmission combination. Of course, these are heavy duties, so they don't EPA does not test them for mileage, but in my guess, I think it should be about 20 miles, if not 20 miles to a gallon on an average, at least 18 plus for sure with the 8-speed transmission. And that's how much my Wrangler gets, guys. And if I could get this full-size heavy-duty truck for $35,000, okay, why would I settle for anything less? You know, I'm getting worried because the Ram 1500s base Tradesman 4x4 costs about $33,000 after rebates and discounts and all that stuff. And if I could get this one for $35,000, I don't know. It's a question maybe you can answer. Let's see. If you let me know what you think about it. Just leave a comment. Would you pick this over a 1500 Tradesman? The other thing when it comes to pricing I want to talk about is Ram seems to be pushing the big horn trim level the most. Like, we've got huge rebates on the Ram big horn trim level, and if this was a big horn, what you would get here is a 8.4-inch touchscreen radio with navigation. You'd get a full center console, with all that storage space and the fancy cup holders and all that. Plenty of organizing space. Of course, you'll miss, you won't have the seat option, but you know, again, the Big Horn being the volume seller in the 1500. Another interesting fact that I'm just realizing is that in the Ram 1500s, in the previous model, we used to sell a lot of Tradesman Expresses and Big Horn, and a very few Laramie's and Longhorns, and you know, the Limiteds was very few. But now with the new 2019 1500s, it's just turntables. The least in terms of the trim level that we sell is the Big Horn. We hardly sell any Tradesmans. Of course, there's no Express in the 2019, but the Big Horn is the least we sell, and we can't keep the Limiteds and the Longhorns on the lot. I mean, people just are going crazy over that 12-inch radio, which personally, you know, it's okay. I don't know if I would spend that kind of money for that 12-inch. The other interesting radio we have is the 7-inch Uconnect system, which is Android Auto and Apple CarPlay capable, and that's probably something I would want in this radio. Even if I didn't have the navigation, I would still you know, at least want to have the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay capability, so that can you know, I can use the maps from my phone. So that's something that I would like. Other than that, I'm fine with this kind of a truck for like $35,000 all day long, guys. I would buy one of these things. So let me cut it out here, and I'll meet you back when I'm on the freeway, guys. So I'm here on the freeway, just getting on. Let me show you all what I'm talking about in terms of the transmission and the engine RPMs and the speed and all that. Let's do this. Let me go through and reset the gas mileage and see what that is. Alright, there you go. So
in half a mile, take the Martins Chapel Road exit.
Right there. And it is that smooth shifting transmission that it is known for, the 8-speed. But let's say right now I'm cruising at about 70 miles an hour, and it's right below 2000 RPM right there. And that's what this transmission does. Is it like if you're cruising, it kind of hardly works the engine, and you know, that's what aids in the gas mileage. So as you can see, guys, it's 70 miles an hour. It is not on cruise control, and averaging about 20 miles to a gallon. See what I'm talking about? Now this, for a heavy duty 2500,
in half a mile, take the Campbell Road exit,
is awesome, guys. It keeps clapping. What's happening here? It's 21.3 miles to a gallon right now. Wow. Quick shot about the reverse camera, and as you can see, this has the active guidelines, so it kind of tells you where you're headed, and as long as you keep the lines free of any obstacles, you're good to go. And another interesting feature is where you can actually zoom in. What that does is it zooms it in, and this is your bumper, if you can realize that, and the camera is showing it well. And if you had your hitch, it'll be sticking out right there, and backing it up into a trailer makes it a 1% job. As you can see, it is pretty awesome that way. And then your active guidelines actually. So like I said, as long as you keep those two lines free of any obstacles, you're good to go. Alright guys, so I just want to change things up a little bit, and so making these videos at the dealership, I got permission from the Hayes to take the truck out, find another location, and just make these videos a little bit better. My daughter here is helping me with this, and if you have any questions, please call me at 678-267-6597. Another thing I wanted to add is that I created this channel just to talk about these products. In fact, for me to learn about these products, so I can be a better salesperson. And but I'll tell you what, if you're in the market for one of these trucks, and no matter where you are, which state, just give me a call in case you had any questions, concerns, or needed any kind of information. I'm willing to share them with you. I'm willing to share my knowledge with you, and it just makes me better at what I do by I think make these videos and these walkarounds. I'm in no way perfect. I'm in no way authority when it comes to these things, but it's just me trying to better myself. And if you know what you have to do, like, share, subscribe. I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, I definitely appreciate you all stopping by, watching this video. Thanks again.